You look so professional, though, man.
I do?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, you sat up straight like this is going to be some kind of formal interview.
No, I'm wearing like a star. I'm out of clothes. I've been living out of a suitcase for like a month.
Yeah, I know. I saw that you and your girlfriend were wearing, you were wearing that shirt.
Correct.
At, what is it, Disney World?
Disney, yeah.
Yeah. And you rode the Star Wars ride? And then,
I rode the wrong one, yeah.
Yeah, so what happened? Dave Portnoy is here, everybody. Dave Portnoy, we clap for our guests. How did you?
This guy cornered me at our own event. And I didn't know what was going on, and he's like, "You want to do an interview?" It's like I felt bad. I didn't even know what I was coming in for.
Yeah,
I'm just like
so this is a pity interview then?
No, it's not pity. I just didn't know what was happening. It was like before I knew what happened, I had agreed to an interview.
No, well, don't worry. This is not a professional operation. It's a morning show that a few people listen to, and so don't worry about it. I mean, we'll get to some hard hitting topics in a little while, like pizza and
I'm sure.
I don't know what else. How did you ride the wrong ride?
So I hadn't been to Disney since I was like 12, maybe, and my girlfriend's family lives in Orlando. So this is a convoluted story. But so there's no plans to go to Disney World. We were there for Christmas. I was supposed to be in Arizona. We had a bowl game, a football game, and it got canceled because of COVID.
Right.
So I ended up stuck in Orlando. Not stuck, but I was there longer and fought to get Disney tickets. But that was never the plan. Very hard to get Disney tickets. Hardest ticket I've been.
Is that true?
I've been to every event in the world. You name it that I've wanted to go to, I can get tickets. I can get them, whether I have to pay for them, people give me. Disney, I called in every favor ever to get Disney tickets.
I didn't know you couldn't get into Disney these days.
It's booked roughly like 2 months out.
Really? Wait,
Yeah.
I got scared you were a Disney adult for 1 second.
No.
You're not, right?
So I do like Star Wars. I've become kind of like a new Star Wars guy with the new ones. I've gotten more into it. And Star Wars, they have a new attraction, which is like their main one. So Hollywood Studios is the hardest park to get in, but that's the one I wanted. We got in, and there's this huge Star Wars thing right when you walk in, and that's the ride I went on that everyone's talking about. And then a couple of people chirped me because I took a picture. They're like, "That why you would take a picture, not in front of the new attraction." So there was some other part of Star Wars on the other part of the park. I walked to that, took a picture. We walked the whole park. I was there all day. We left, and it turns out I missed the entire new part, like Edge of the Galaxy, which is the part that everyone goes to. So that sucked.
So after all that, so now you owe somebody like your left nut or something, but you didn't even see what you went to see.
No, I didn't see what I went to see, and I was like bragging. There's a guy.
I went to Star Wars, bro.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't even see it.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a couple of people at Barstool who truly do like love it. And I was like, "Hey, this ride's the best." And he asked me, he's like, "Well, did you go on the Millennium Falcon ride too?" And when he said that, I was like, "What is this guy talking about?" He's like, "No, I didn't even see that." And I did the research. So yeah, it sucked. It was a big miss. Big miss.
So you're here for the opening of the Barstool Bar in River North.
Correct.
This whole thing was basically just you blogging, wasn't it? I mean, this
Barstool?
Yeah, and now there's bars and I mean, it's a lifestyle brand now, right?
So I started it 20 years ago as a newspaper, about 20 years ago in Boston. I would hand it out outside subways, this, that, the other thing. It just grew slowly from newspaper, then it went online, and then we expanded cities. And Chicago became one of our biggest because we hired a guy, Dan Katz, Big Cat.
That guy is hysterical.
Yeah, and he's huge. And so and I don't mean fat. He was fat.
You just callalled Big Cat fat.
I was going to say, that's not very nice.
He was fat. He's doing okay. He always says father,
He's a dad,
too.
man.
He is.
You gotta let him go,
that's
man.
what he says.
Yeah, right.
He fluctuates. He fluctuates. Depends how you catch him.
Same. I feel that.
But so he really grew the brand in Chicago because he was one of the more popular guys, and he lived here for a long time. Then we all relocated to New York City like 7 years ago. But because he was in Chicago, I had a bunch of guys, and we have a Chicago office. So we only have New York and Chicago. So those are the only two offices that we got.
Super nice office now.
Yeah, it is office. I saw that.
Office.
Very nice. Too nice for them.
It was a bad office. I
No.
saw a video of them complaining about the office.
Because previously you were in like an insurance
They literally
office.
worked at State Farm Insurance office.
Farmers.
Yeah, farmers
yes.
insurance. Like if they were making a phone call, you had to like hush because they were trying to sell insurance.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so they were doing that. Like when I saw it the first time probably a year and a half ago, and I mean I was stunned because Barstool's grown. We're like a real company now. It's like, what are you guys doing working in insurance? But they have their own nice office now. It's too nice for them.
Big Cat. Sometimes I follow him, and he's so quick that I think, is he watching? Does he have access to the game like 5 minutes before me? Because I'll see this stuff and I'm like, how did you come up with that so fast?
He's fanatical, so he does watch everything. He's on top of it, and that's kind of how Barstool differentiated ourselves in the beginning. We just never, I never left my house for 10 years, just on top of everything on the internet. And we were early. When I started Barstool, if you said, hey, we're a blog, people have been like, what is that? I've never heard of a blog. So it was a combo of right time, right place with everything. And right guys.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Dave Portnoy's here from Barstool. And then you got the pizza reviews.
Yes.
Which, I mean, of all the things you've done, I feel like that's the thing that's gotten the biggest. I mean, it's the simplest, I feel like. I mean, could you ever have seen that you'd have your own pizzas and where are they, Walmart or something?
Yeah, they're everywhere. No, I know a lot of people do see me like, oh, that's the pizza guy. They have no idea anything else.
Right.
We do.
Yeah, a CEO of a company.
Yeah.
President, right.
And it's we can be controversial. One of my favorite stories, it's a guy was saying, it's my girlfriend hates you. Or hates Barstool, but loves the pizza reviews. It's and I don't have the heart to tell her it's the same person. People know us all different ways, but the pizza started organically, and it's just, I think everybody loves pizza. So every city I go, I just do it every day. I mean, yesterday I went to, 4 places in Chicago.
So what's the best pizza in Chicago then?
Chicago has terrible pizza. So, no, that's a fact.
A lot of people think that. I assume you're talking about the deep dish.
The deep dish, all right. I like the deep dish, and I like all the... But a local Chicago person will say, Giordano's and all those places and Lou Malnati's, they'll say they're all touristy. I like it. That's what I would eat if I came to Chicago because it's very different than what you get everywhere else. But that is... I think every single true Chicago local will be that's just tourist stuff. They like the pub. They like
the tavern style.
Yeah, the tavern.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Square thing
that
crust,
is, and I like some of it. Don't get me wrong.
It?
If you're comparing styles, it's not good. It just isn't. It doesn't stack up versus a New York pizza, Connecticut pizza. Massachusetts, where I'm from, it has bar style as well, but it's way crispier, way thinner. The best tavern style for me is still not that great.
Okay.
And you got to relative. So I went to Vic and
Nico and Vince. Nico
and Vince is
musical girl.
Vito and Nick's.
Yeah, Vito and Nick's. Yeah.
That was my favorite pub style. It's over 100 years, and it's good, but So I don't love Neapolitan style. Neapolitan, to me, I don't care how good it is. It's a high 6. You can't get much better than a mid 7 for me for that pub style. But that was a great place, 100 years old, so much tradition. For me, going to a place like that, it's as much eating there and the environment as it is the pizza.
And I just saw you give a place in New Jersey, a 9-4 or something.
One of the best I've ever had.
But your preference is the wood fire,
yes.
No flop.
Correct.
And you only get the cheese. Is that to standardize?
Yeah, it's the gold medal slice. Because everybody has their different...
Right.
How can you... I need a standard. And the place I just graded in Jersey, Delucia's, it's 117 years old. And you have an oven that they've been using for 117 years, so that you can't recreate the flavors that come out of the oven.
Yeah. You talk about polarity, David. Do you have to be liked or hated? Is it one or the other? And not you specifically, but and I think you are who you are. You seem that way. You seem that way right now. You seem that way in your videos. But does it have to be one or the other?
No, it's the old Howard Stern thing from his movie, right? It's people who love me listen for 10 minutes. People who hate me listen for 20.
Right.
I'm certainly polarizing. I've come to just accept that, but I don't try to be. I don't know really how that happened. I don't think I've done things that are overtly controversial, but I've kind of an excuse me, East Coast person. If someone comes, I don't relent. I don't apologize if I don't think I'm wrong, and I don't try to swipe things under the table. If I feel like I'm right and you're wrong, and I feel like you're intentionally trying to screw with me, I'll try to ruin your life professionally speaking. I just don't. Yeah, I don't have that DNA to let it go. I'm I just bought a racehorse, for example, and I named it Grudge Holder. That is...
You don't forget.
No, and and people say don't do it. HBO did kind of a negative piece on me, and I showed the lady, she came in, I have champagne bottles on my desk engraved with the names of people I hate. And I just wait until I feel like I've defeated them, and then I pump
Then you
them
drink it
on camera. Yeah,
Wait,
so
that's iconic.
yeah,
I love that.
It's like the Godfather, but modern day version.
I love that. We need to start doing that around here. I
It
like that
sounds like
idea.
something you would do, Fred. For
Yeah,
real.
you're gonna have to buy the champagne.
I'm the
It'll
same
probably
way,
be
man.
soda
I don't.
pop
There are
right
certain
over here.
people they fuel me, and like
Sparkling
I don't
cider.
forget about them. And people will argue that's unhealthy, but I think about those people, and they motivate me.
it's my fuel. I don't, and it may be unhealthy, but it 100% is what continues to fuel me. And, I don't know. We live in crazy times. Like I've always said, I don't consider myself political. People think I am because of decisions I make. Like I'll go on Fox News because, frankly, Fox News has a huge outlet for me to get my name and brand out. And if someone on the other side of Fox News is like, hey, Dave, come on, I'd run to go on. I don't care. I just want as many people to know about Barstool Sports.
Well, and you interviewed Trump, which immediately then everybody says this guy's right wing and the whole thing.
The
Yeah.
people who hated me because of that, I found out about. They asked me to do it.
Of course, you're going to go to the White House and interview the.
And by the way, my dad hates Donald Trump more than any human in the world. He hates him, and I even called my dad. And I'm like, they invited me to go do this. What do you do? He's like, you got to do it.
Of
It's
course.
the president of the United States. And I've always said that. But, we're in polarizing times, and social media especially, like it's an echo chamber. You can twist, do whatever. I've never had anybody I've worked with, like interacted with, whoever has said any of the negative things. But weirdly, it's helped build the Barstool brand because our crowd, our followers, I've been doing it for 20 years, so they know me pretty well. And when negative stuff happens, they rally around us, and it makes us stronger. I always say, I think the extreme left, extreme right, both suck. And 99% of people are just normal people, like trying to get through their day and laugh. And that's
it's true.
Like what we try to do.
It's true. You said a lot about it on Twitter and publicly. We don't have to get too much into it, but what's the Business Insider beef? Why are they coming for you?
I am figuring this out as we speak, and I don't know how much. So I knew about this. Business Insider wrote what I would say if I read the article as somebody who didn't know who I was, and that's the first time they read it, I'd be like, this guy's a monster. Like, he's the worst. I did, and it was the most serious accusations I've ever, basically called me a sexual deviant. Like, it accused me of rape without accusing me of rape. It never said that.
No, it was pointed, yeah.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
And I mean, but there were no charges. It stopped short. It played a game of basically saying it. There were two girls, and they, by the way, Business Insider reached out to every single girl that I followed on Instagram, that I ever girls I never talked to were like, hey, why are we getting contacted? So for a year they did it. They dug up two people who had quotes. And luckily for me, I had the receipts of all of it. So I had the text messages. Like, it just, I feel like anyone with an open mind, just like how they read the first, would be like, this guy's a monster. Anybody who saw my response would be like, whoa, there's no truth to it. And it's kind of gone away. I think there's a lot of different reasons why it happened. The guy who started, there was stock issues that could have been involved. It could have been everybody who did it was extremely left, like woke, liberal. And then there's other issues that I think, I can't say now because I'm putting it together as we speak, but I'm not done with Business Insider. Like,
you got a bottle of champagne for Business Insider.
Let me put it this way. Like, they tried to ruin my life and my business and everyone who works for my business. Wow. So it's like something that will never go away. Mm-hmm. And if they think I keep saying it's the top of the first inning, it just won't. Why they did it? I have a bunch of theories, but I think I've zeroed in on the correct theory with facts that I'll be able to prove.
Yeah, because they went to a place where that's a label that you get to wear. It's almost like you're guilty until proven innocent.
The headline
that's your
of the
mission.
article is basically a girl was running away from me, screaming in pain. And I did hook up with this girl. We had sex. She came visit me, but it was like she's running away, screaming, no, no, no. It never said that. This girl, the main one, the next day opened, and they said they're keeping her name private because she doesn't want to go public. Next day went public, started an OnlyFans, made a shit ton of money. I probably can't say the S word. I just did. Made a ton of money. Also, what they didn't realize at the time is she had a Finsta, fake Instagram account, was documenting her entire week at my house, and never said it. She's like, Dave Portnoy's boring and a grumpy old man. This was after. Like, so the descriptions of the two things that she had. And then when I did do the Trump thing, again on her Finsta, she's like, not my proudest F. Like, I hate this guy. We didn't get along because I knew we didn't get along. I get along with most people, but there are all these facts and her documenting that everything she said happened just didn't happen. And they never corrected the story. They never did anything. The other girl, there's two girls. The other girl, there was a police report from her mother that was gibberish. It was basically so there's that one. The other one, which I was able to prove, and they're like, she blacked out at my house. She didn't remember anything. She was in shock. And then I have all these DMs with the girl continually after her being like, hey, can we hang out again? Here's my cell phone number. I can't believe you're still talking to me. After the fact, when she's supposed to be blacked out. So I luckily, because my girlfriend now, if any girl comes up, she's like, let me see your DMs and stuff. So I was deleting them.
Yeah.
Thankfully, if I didn't have the receipts, nobody would believe me. The people who did not want to believe me, even my strongest critics kind of shut up on this article once I handed all the evidence. But the story is always louder than the facts that come out after. And that's what happens with anything. Why they came at me, I think a lot of it's politics. I really do.
Yeah.
Like the people who wrote it, I'm ranting, they deleted their entire Twitter profile. This is how angry
I saw
it gets
that,
me.
yeah.
They had 4,000 tweets. They deleted them all before they did, because if you go back, there's such anti-Trump, and it's like, I'm not that guy, but they think I'm that guy.
Yeah. Dave Portnoy is here. Okay, I'm going to switch gears then.
Good. That was getting me all fired up.
No,
I'm starting to sweat. It gets me so mad. Someone comes at my life. It's like, you're coming at my life.
No, I don't blame
Makes
you.
sense.
I don't blame you. Chicago Bears. What? I know you're a Boston guy, but what?
Please.
I mean, let's hear some of your theories on that.
You know, the Bears deserve to be good because it's such a great sports town. I'm not sold on Fields. Obviously, Matt Nagy's one of the worst coaches in the history of not just football, but like sports. So you got to get rid of him.
Do you believe the reports that he's gone?
No, he's gone. If he's not gone, then
Right.
Bears fans can't show up ever again.
Okay.
I mean, he's the worst coach of all time.
And do you believe the reports that we can't get a good coach because of management?
There may be something to that. I don't know enough about that. I know great coaches want all the power generally, and if there's a power struggle, I mean, that's a little bit what you see always with Dallas. You know, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones wants a coach who's basically his pigeon to a degree. But, I mean, the Bears are terrible, and they've been terrible for a long time, but they deserve to be good.
And it starts with a coach?
No, it does. It does start with the coach, but it starts with who hires the coach, clearly.
Yeah.
So you're not sold on Fields? You don't think
I'm
Fields
not. I'm also... Full disclosure, I went to Michigan, so I'm a Michigan
Oh,
guy.
okay.
Yeah.
He's an Ohio
so
State
Ohio
guy.
State.
Well, you did. I was
Yeah.
wondering why I wear the Pistons. Little brother.
Do you think
Oh, please.
Jim Harbaugh would be a good fit for the Bears?
Yeah, I probably do. I hope he's not, but I bet I do think he's a good NFL coach.
Yeah.
For a time, he wears people out.
Yeah.
In the pros, but yeah, I don't think he's going to leave. I know those rumors are floating. I'd be very mad if he left. Because he has one good year at Michigan, they bolt.
Right.
That would be crap. But I do think he'd be a pretty good fit.
Okay.
Yeah, they're talking about him with Raiders, maybe Bears.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah. I don't think he's going to leave Michigan, but
Yeah. Well, he's getting paid, so he's doing a good job.
well, they cut his contract, so that there's rumors like he was so bad at Michigan, they cut his contract in half, and maybe there's some left over now that he had one good year. Who knows?
Yeah. What do you guys got? Anything?
Yeah, your girlfriend's super hot. My
Thank
God.
you.
What a smoke show.
Thanks.
When you're doing, I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with her. She's so hot. I see your TikToks all the time.
Yeah.
You're doing these TikToks with her. Does she force you to do that?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm fine with it.
I mean, you have to if you want to have sex with her because she's so hot. Like,
Yeah, no.
I would do anything.
I can say no, but she'll keep asking. Some I have. First of all, I'm like a numbers guy, regardless, and I don't know if I'm shadow banned or what. Her TikToks do way better than mine do.
Always on my For You page. She lives
I don't
there,
know how she does that.
as she should.
But how? Like I haven't figured.
I'm on,
you
like,
heard it.
lesbian
She's
TikTok,
a smoke
so,
show.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
end
that-
up everywhere.
But there's tons of pretty girls on.
Yeah, but she's the hottest.
Yeah,
so
she's.
it makes
listen,
sense.
she's very hot, so I'm lucky.
I'll make TikTok videos too
Yeah.
if she's got a friend or whatever.
No,
I'm cool.
I get criticized from my crowd. They're like, "You sold out," but it's like, no, I don't. It's like I used to recreate Justin Bieber videos. Like everyone, I had his fake tattoos literally all over my body on a vacation for so I don't care. I'll do anything for numbers. But I'm also like a one-take guy for everything I do. I'm quick, I'm in and out, and she will make me do the lines over and over till she thinks I nailed
You always do nail it, so I'm like, I know that they're practicing. I know they're rehearsing.
That's the main thing with her that probably gets... The only time maybe there's back and forth is she will watch a TikTok and just keep repeating the lines to herself like out loud hours before we do the TikTok, and I'm like, just enough of the TikTok. But yeah, no, she's great at it. She gets big numbers, and she's starting to monetize it. So I'm all in on doing that. Even and she's super hot. You're right.
Yeah.
What's next for the Barstool brand? Like, I mean, in 2022, you guys are everywhere and everything. What's next? What's the next level of Barstool? Where are you taking it next?
So a big thing of what we're doing is like what we're doing tonight is tonight is the launch for the River North bar. And I think we may actually end up with 2 here in Chicago. It opens to the public. It'll be open by the time this airs, right? So, and then we have 2 in Philly, I believe, Nashville, Scottsdale. So the on-premise is a big thing of what we're doing.
Okay.
And I'm focused on sports gambling. That's a big part of what we do, and launching in new states and things like that. So that's kind of where my focus. But we're always looking for talent too. Like that's a big part, just always trying to find the next Alex Cooper or something like that.
That's what I was going to ask about. How did that relationship start? Like, I love her so much. She's the best.
So I knew her. So, she was dating a Mets player. We had crossed paths a couple times. And I remember she put a sizzle reel, 30 seconds of Call Her Daddy on her Instagram.
Yeah.
And I saw it. And it was interesting because I'd never really seen anything quite like it. So we called her in to meet with her. And it was like, hey, what is this, Alex? And she's like, this is a podcast I want to do. Call Her Daddy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who created the sizzle reel? Who made it? She's like, I did. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because it was very slick, very professional.
Yeah.
And she's like, I made it. I learned how to edit all it. I'm like, all right. Once she said that, it was pretty clear she was serious about it. And then it's like, do you want to work here? We'll promote it and give you a contract. So I didn't know who Sophia was at the time. I didn't even know there was anyone else on it. But they both signed up, and the thing just went like nuclear. Like
was
right
the
off the bat.
in that sizzle reel, or
No,
did she bring
it was
that up?
the Gluck
God, by the way, God bless her for that.
She changed the game.
she
with
really
that
did.
one.
She has
American hero.
No, she revolutionized podcasting and all.
She's dope.
In the amount of women and who would then send, hey, we want to do podcasts, and I look at them and they were all just knockoffs of Call Her Daddy, which we weren't really looking for because it's very hard to recreate that talent. The thing, I mean, we obviously thought she had talent and there's a chance it would be popular, but I mean, I look at her as the female Joe Rogan, and I don't mean that in what they say, but in her influence and how big that she really became. She became a megastar. And she got paid like it.
And I saw the video where you responded to her leaving and getting that big offer. And I thought you were super classy about that because, I know you were paying her or there was an offer on the table from you guys, but that thing was huge and she got paid for it.
I always look at Barstool kind of and I assume it's sort of like here, as sports. We sign you to a 2-3 year contract, whatever it may be. We expect you to fulfill the contract. And if you kill it, and can go sign a mega contract, we'd love to keep you, but at some level we may or may not. I mean, she got $60 million over 3 years over there, so
goals.
That's pretty good.
I mean,
that's
my diary tonight.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So
I would go for that. Yeah.
So I mean, how can you knock that? She did. We had a little hiccup in the middle of it. I won't say little. It was pretty big when the Call Her Daddy split.
That was wild.
Yeah, that was
I
wild.
don't even know whose team I'm on, honestly.
I can tell you honestly, you should be
Alex.
on my team.
Oh. I see tea from both sides.
Yeah.
I start sweating.
I told the dead ass. I told the dead ass truth with that. They were both trying to screw us over. They and Alex will openly be like we were. Now, the he said she said behind what happened with those two, I believe Alex because there was no reason once we offered them the deal we did, which was a huge raise, give them, we own Call Her Daddy. It was Barstool's property. And we're like, here, you guys can take it when you leave. They were both going to be multi-millionaires the second that offer was made. And Alex said she'll take it. And Sophia said no. There's no rational reason why that could ever happen. They blamed it on the boyfriend.
Yeah. Hey, Fred, if you offer me a multi, I will take it.
Yeah, okay.
So if it's on the table.
Yeah, get in line. Get in line.
$1
And that's another situation. We got kind of, I don't want to say lucky, but that would have been a he said, she said if they just quit, because they were acting like we were like abusing them basically. Like they had this whole trail and just none of it was true. They just didn't come into the office for a month and a half because they were getting ready to quit and leave and plant basically a reason why they could break their contract and leave. And it would have been ugly because a lot of the Call Her Daddy fans at that time didn't know really who I was or Barstool was. So it worked out. Alex obviously is a mega star, and I don't, let me put it this way. I think there's connections between the Business Insider and Sophia. Like there's connections on every single potential. Like one of the girls who was connected with Sophia's new crew. So there's just it runs so deep.
Jaw drop.
Yeah, it runs
you
so
got
deep.
champagne bottles ready to pop.
Yeah, man.
That's Dom Perignon.
I'm stealing that, by the way. You're gonna start seeing them stack up over here, man. Just line them up.
It's a nice thing to have. It's like I remember we got a show canceled by ESPN, the fastest show of all time. It aired once, they canceled it.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was all this blowback like Barstool stinks, Dave's the devil, this and that. He said this, that. And the guy who ran ESPN, his name was John Skipper at the time. So we engraved him. And like maybe 2 weeks later, he resigned from ESPN.
I remember that,
because he claimed he was being blackmailed by his Coke dealer.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
And he's like, he also, by the way, said he used Coke once. He's like, you use Coke once and you're getting blackmailed by your Coke dealer? Like, what are we talking about?
You must be a little better customer than that.
Yeah. So that was when it was like, all right, God's on my side there. We popped that bottle quick. But yeah, we had that one ready to go.